Hi, Anita Dawn from Senior Fit Solutions and also Sail Pilates. I hope the reception is good. Sometimes in my studio it's not, so do forgive me. I am working on getting a better Wi-Fi system. Now, one of the banes of my life, planks and press ups. I teach mostly women over 60, but I also teach a mixed age group as well. And there seems to be this pressure to do a plank or press up. So why are we doing them? They're slightly different, but they both work the core. So a plank where it's stability is more for the core. And then when we do the press, then we're actually working into the chest and more into the arms. And it's a little bit harder, I think, to do. I teach beginners Pilates and also intermediate, but when I start off with new people, I always challenge whether the traditional way of modifying the planks and the push-ups are sufficient, are appropriate for the age group, because now we have anchor points, we have door anchors, anchor points, we have bands. We don't always need gravity where we're pressing against on the floor, pressing against gravity. When you have a band and an anchor point, you can put it wherever you want and you can stand and be in a really good functional position. So one of the basic principles in Pilates is scapular stability and mobilization, shoulders. Yes. So one thing that happens is that as soon as we bring the arms forward, we tend to collapse, especially when there's pressure. Part of the reason for that is because we are stronger in the front. Our chest muscles are stronger than the back muscles, so we feel more powerful and we can maintain that position better when we actually shorten and contract the chest. But then it's creating a round back kyphosis and also stretching those back muscles that are already stretched. So we start off by challenging the position for the shoulders on 4-point kneeling. So coming down onto all fours. Some people can't get down on all fours, and there are slight different modifications, but I'm going to show you the general practice. So we want to be in our neutral spine. So it's very much when we're strengthening the core, we want it to be in neutral. And also that means the thoracic and the lumbar. All right. So just to remind us, we can find that neutral thoracic by protracting, retracting halfway, pelvis forward tilt, backward tilt halfway, and knit the ribs together. So to challenge that shoulder position, we tend to do a box push-up where we want to stay wide across the collarbone, shoulder blades into the back pocket, and not letting the shoulders come up by the ears like this and dropping into the rib cage there, and just generally just hanging in the ligaments in the shoulders. A lot of people complain about the wrists. We can't really stay in that position long enough. There are various things that we can do about that, but at the end of the day, the wrists are probably going to be the weakest link, and also the shoulders. So what I think is a lot more practical is to initially get people to kneeling or sitting in a chair even. I'm going to do it for practicality here with a band. All right. This is not my favorite, by the way, but this is where I would start. Everybody can have a band if you're in a classroom and maybe you can't have a door anchor in a classroom. That's one reason why I have a gym. All right. So what we can do here, practice. So we've done the stabilization of the shoulders. So don't worry about what's happening with my lower body. I'm just going to show you here. So what tends to happen immediately is that people, again, collapse in front when they press the arms forward, and you see how I've lost my neutral. So we can actually practice staying wide across the collarbone, slight pinch in the shoulder blades without putting all that stress on the wrists. So we can stay here longer and we can practice it. So I'd just like to point out that whilst that is a good exercise to do, it's not an exercise that we want to stay with very long, because the anchor is around the body and it's much more effective. We're not working the core at all. And when we're doing our presses in everyday life, we want to have a strong core. So the idea really is to be in an upright position. So let's just think, first of all, the transition when you're on the floor is to perhaps go into this position. You've still got the problem with the wrist. And if people do it from here, then people either get tired and drop the hips and damage the lower back, or again, they're rounding through the thoracic because that's where they're stronger. All right. But why are we down there? Because we're using gravity as a challenge. It wouldn't be the same if I lay on my back and I did the same movement. I'm not lifting a weight. Well, maybe if I had a barbell, but I'm still using gravity lying down, or here horizontal using gravity. So I think it's pretty good to be able to push your body weight, but I think at the end of the day, my goal is to get my clients standing up. So I can put this band, it doesn't have to be at the top of the door, but so I'm going to have a split stance to start with, and I want to be pressing in alignment with the band so that when I extend my arms. So here, I'd start off with the flexor band without the anchor point. This is slightly more challenging. We need to think about what the pelvis is doing, but we could sit in a chair as well and do this. So, and eventually we would come onto a more challenging position with a smaller base of support, and then do the press here where we're working no stress on the wrists and not overly stressed in the shoulders, but also the core working as well. So that I think is a brilliant, oh, that by the way is, so that was looking at the press ups. I've kind of mixed together the planks and the press ups. All right. So the finished product would be again here. So I was just doing the press ups there, but we can do the same with the plank. So I can get here and I can lean forward, and I can challenge myself slowly coming upright, and really it's so no pressure on the shoulders, no pressure on the wrist, but I'm really working my core in quite a functional position by using an anchor point and the resistance bands. Yeah. So pressing is for the chest, so we can press, we can do that there. And there is, people say, what about a wall push-up? Yeah, this is a wall push-up. Whilst you've got less stress on the wrists, and you can probably focus more on the shoulders because there's not so much stress on the shoulders. But what I see is that unless we've gone to intermediate class, when people can stabilize their spine in neutral, engage your core and the glutes, then otherwise I see that really more harm is happening there than good stuff. Yeah. So let me know what you think. If you've got any more ideas, let me know. But this is something it's just everything's revolutionized from lockdown and the use of the door anchors. And I have a lot of wall anchors, and in the gym they're using pulley systems, so it's much more functional where you're working your core in an upright position. All right, so let me know what you think and any questions. And if you're interested in getting stronger, then ideally you want to do my beginners Pilates course first, but it's not really essential. But you learn the basic principles and how to stabilize the shoulders, and then you can go much faster through the 6-week strength training course. But depending on the ability of the person, you might want to have a one-to-one first, just to go through those basic principles of stability of the joints there to get more out of the strength training workout. So that's starting on the Monday. I think Monday is the 9th of September, and it goes for 6 weeks. It's online and also in person. And there's various levels of the course that I'm doing. You can come face-to-face 3 times a week, or once a week with a video, or online, just totally online, live and with the video. So lots of payment plans, lots of different options there to suit you and your lifestyle. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I look forward to reading your comments and knowing what you think about that. Yeah.